Pros and cons of living in Cary, North Carolina. That's coming up next. What are some of the things you're absolutely going to love and absolutely going to hate about Cary, North Carolina? That's coming up next. I'm Chris with eXp Realty here in North Carolina, and if you've got any questions or anything, just hit us up in the comments. What's your favorite part of North Carolina? What do you love or hate about Cary? We'd love to add it to the list. Let's get right to it. One of the biggest pros about living in Cary, North Carolina is the location. It's not in the heart of the city of Raleigh. It's not where all the larger buildings are, the downtown bustling part of Raleigh. It's just outside, just to the west of Raleigh. And it's an up and coming bustling town. That's what I like to call it. Okay, now compared to some cities in the US, it's busy. It's got a lot of traffic. Compared to others, it's relatively slow. I moved from California, and for me, Cary feels like a smaller town. It doesn't feel overcrowded, and it's not overgrown. So location is great, and if you want the action, you can live in downtown Raleigh or around the downtown area of Raleigh. Most of the great shopping and locations for restaurants and pubs, etc., is in downtown and also south of Cary. There's development going on in downtown Cary, but not too much. When we talk about the size of Cary as a town, it's called a town. It's really a small city. In comparison to downtown Raleigh, it's not as developed, but obviously comparisons are always going to be weighted depending on what you're comparing it to. As you can see, there's a lot of development going on just west of Cary, kind of a little bit northwest of Cary. And but as we get a little closer into downtown, you're going to see that the main portion of downtown is being developed as you come in. Kildare Farms Road, South Academy Street, Cedar Street, and there's a big development, multi-use building being built kind of in the northwest downtown Cary. That's it's a significant building. They don't have a lot of high-rise buildings, but they do have developments coming along. So and lots of little pockets of development as well. But that's what makes Cary a growing and bustling city, are the developments that are happening. You can see as you scroll out, there's some things going on over to the west, but a lot to the east, but a lot more going on to the west over here. In between here, Durham is up to the left here, up here, and there's a lot more going on to the west. It's not exactly a southern charm town, but it's got all the amenities that a lot of people are looking for. And that's why we've got 8,000 people per month moving into the county, and somewhere around 5,000 a month moving into the area, into the local area. And so it affords a lot as far as location. For most people, a 15-minute drive is going to get you to all the shopping that you need. So that's what you want to think about. Now, of course, there are some cons to that, and we'll get to those next. Con number one is traffic. Now, the reason that Cary and Raleigh in general are coming up on the top 10 lists of places people are moving to in the United States is because of affordability. Relatively speaking, housing is it's definitely cheaper than California, New York, lots of these big suburb areas. And so that's why a lot of people are moving into the area. That being said, the infrastructure is not built for a lot of traffic and for thousands of people each month to be moving in, so they've got a little bit of traffic here and there. Now, from my perspective, the traffic's not that bad. I moved from California, and it doesn't really bother me. I know that it's going to take about 15 minutes to get where I want to go. For people who don't mind the little bit bustliness of the city, and they're willing to buy an older home, being in the center, in the heart of Cary is great. That's where you want to be. You want to be close to everything. A lot of people are moving to North Carolina and to the south because they want to be in less busy areas. They want to be in more rural areas. Maybe they want to have more space or more acreage or land. Usually those people are living, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes outside of the center of Cary, usually to the south, also to the north and to the west. West is where most of the new developments are going down, and they're building a lot of townhouses and homes out there. So generally speaking, yeah, you're going to have rush hour traffic. You're going to have some morning traffic. What's great about the layout of Cary is you can get in and out of it off of surface streets and you can get around it on the freeways. The freeways are where you'll see some backup during the typical commute times. They are working on expanding all of this, and the 540 is being built out to be a beltway all the way around, and all the way around Raleigh. And so the area is being built up, and the roads are being built up to accommodate that. So one of the things we noticed when we moved from California to North Carolina is the friendliness of the people. The general thing I like to say is people are willing to slow down a little bit, tell you a story, hear your story, and actually just kind of communicate in a little bit slower manner. And that's not everybody, not everybody's friendly, but I generally find that people are a lot more friendly here. We met all of our neighbors within a very short period of relocating to the area, and we really enjoy knowing who lives around us, and they were welcoming, and even some of them even brought us a gift basket, so that was very nice. So yeah, generally speaking, you've got a little bit of that southern charm. That being said, about 30% of the people who live in the Cary area are not from Cary. So you've got a very much a mishmash of people who are living here, and I mean that from all races and origins around the world. And that leads to some other pros, which include, like, you know, great restaurants from all kinds of different ethnicities around the world. So yeah, people are a little more friendly here. One thing you're not going to like about Cary is the cost of housing. Now, relative to larger cities and also cities that are not developing as much, there is some savings to it, but it's going up. It's becoming competitive. The reason being, the center of Cary has basically been completely developed. New buildings and new housings are happening to the west of Cary and to the south, you know, to the outskirts, where it's going to take you 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes to drive into town. That being said, housing is competitive. So most people right now, the market, they're looking for a house that's turnkey, doesn't need a lot of work, maybe isn't very old, and that's what most people are going for. So clients are finding out they have to make multiple offers on houses, sometimes 3, 4, 5 offers before they get one that works. But have no fear, you will find something that works, and we work hard to find those houses for our clients. That being said, as soon as you start to go out of the immediate area of Cary and Raleigh in general, you start to go south, you start to go to the outskirts, your pricing for housing goes down. If you're talking about Fuquay-Varina or you're talking about Holly Springs, you can start to look at a house, buying an actual house detached for $500,000. Now that's not going to last very long. Next year it'll be $525,000, $550,000, whatever. But there is still housing available in those areas. Especially if you can bear with doing improvements on a house. If you can do improvements that help the look and feel, you can buy something that needs a little work. A lot of people are going hard out for the ready to go turnkey, maybe even flipped or new homes in the area. One of the pros about Cary is that it's a well-developed, well laid out and planned town. That means that the structure of the streets, it makes it easy to get places. And I generally say I can get almost anywhere in 15 minutes, anywhere I need to, of course. If somebody's asking me to meet outside of town, you know, Fuquay, Apex, there's other areas where you're going to have to travel, and it takes a little bit of time to get there. But generally speaking, it's a well laid out area. What I especially personally like is that there's no freeway running through the middle of Cary. There's no major infrastructure right around the downtown area. When you pass into the area, you'll cross the 1 or you'll cross the 64, and you won't really even notice it. It'll just be another street, another bridge that you go over. Meanwhile, there's these main freeways that run all the way around Cary. So it's conveniently laid out. One of the cons of being in a bustling, growing town is that there's not as much of the original charm left. If you go downtown, there's a few stores that still look old, and you know the main art center is a really beautiful building with some mosaic windows on the back. But as it stands, there's not a lot of southern charm where you have tons of houses in rows and patios and people sitting out there on their patios drinking sweet tea. It's definitely more modernized. I will say that I believe that mostly people are a little happier and friendlier, let's say, than some of the major cities in the U.S. And I do encounter the southern charm, mostly in people, and that's where I enjoy it. I would say there's a little less than what a lot of people think of when they're moving here. If you're moving from New York City to North Carolina, you might be feeling, well, I'm just gonna kick back and sit on my porch and watch the dogs, stare at the street, whatever it may be. There's a little less of that southern charm around. Cary itself, the downtown area, has been developed. I mean, they have a $68 million downtown Cary Park, and it's beautiful, it's amazing, and it attracts tons of people. Christmas time, the streets are bustling with people all day and all night. And so they've got a lot of development going on, and a little bit less charm. Most of the housing developments in the area, they've got a little bit of space, a little bit of land. A lot of them have those front porches we mentioned, and the southern style housing and architecture. So it's still there in different places. It's just not as widespread as it was. Okay, a major pro for the area, and this constitutes almost all the schools, is that they're highly rated. Great school system, highly rated school system. And for families, this is very, very important. You want to be sure your kids are getting into a great school. So yeah, Cary's got great school systems, and almost all of the schools are very highly rated in the area. So that's another draw for people, and that's again why we have a lot of people moving into the area and bringing families and buying a little bit bigger home maybe than they could afford wherever they're coming from. People are moving from all over the country to Cary and to Raleigh, North Carolina, and major companies are moving into the area. It's definitely becoming more of a city feel and more of a larger area that's getting built up. So it's exciting for the people who are here. It's exciting for those of us who like to see development and progress happen. There's still a lot to be said about being able to move into an area where most of your costs are going to go down. If you can, like I said, buy a house maybe that needs a little work, or buy a new construction house. You'll never have to do any maintenance on it, and get into a lifestyle that's truly southern and has fun charm to it. Lots of great restaurants and places to hang out here in Cary. So we love it. Hope you will too. What's your favorite part and what's your least favorite part about Cary, North Carolina? Please leave it in the comments below, and we love to hear from you. See you on the next video.